Hi everyone, this is the last lesson in chapter 1. Today we are doing lesson 1.7 and it is about circles. So we've been talking about plane figures. Remember, this entire chapter we've been laying foundational vocabulary, and we're going to add vocabulary throughout our time in this course, but this is the last, like a large set of foundational vocabulary. As I said in all the other videos, and as we were diving deeper into specific types of shapes, we will be learning more about circles and building upon this later on in the course. What I'm going to do for this set of videos is we are going to toggle between the vocabulary worksheet and then the note sheet. So what I'd like you to have out with you as you're following along is this vocabulary sheet that I have up here on the screen, as well as the notes sheet that I have up here. So we're going to start with some definitions and then, like I said, toggle back and forth. So what is a circle? Well, it's not a polygon, right? A circle doesn't have any sides like a polygon has. It doesn't have any vertices, corners. A circle is the set of all points in a plane. So again, we're in a flat surface at a given distance, which is called the radius, from a given point, called the center. So if we look at this picture to the right, this is a circle. It's these points here, the points in blue, okay? But it's defined, those set of points actually have their basis defined from things that technically aren't part of itself. And what do I mean by that is we have something called the center of our circle, which is not a point on the circle, and we have a given distance from this center point, and that is called the radius. Now, no matter what point you pick on the circle, remember the dark blue is the circle. If I pick a point on this circle and I connect that point with the center point, it will be congruent to, again, the distance between another point I choose on the circle, connect that to the center point. These things will be the same. They will be congruent. That is the definition of a circle. So the radius is a segment. A radius is a segment whose endpoints are the center of the circle and a point on the circle. So when we refer to radius, plural form radii with two i's, we're talking about the distance as well as the actual physical segment. So that word radius applies to both things. So now let's toggle to our notes. Our warm-up here is a circle center is 3, 2, and it passes through negative 2, 2. We want to name 3 other points on the circle. If I were to kind of round this out here, it would sort of look like this. And I'm here in the coordinate plane. It's not a beautiful circle, but you get the idea. What I'm looking at here is, remember, any point on the circle is the same distance from the center as any other point. And so what I want to consider is what I know. And I know I have the center is 3, 2, and then I have another point is negative 2, 2. And these points are lined up horizontally. So I have a horizontal segment, which is very easy to count the distance. I have 2 units till I get to the y-axis, and then another 3 units till I get over here. So this radius is 5 units long. How's that going to help me answer the question? Well, I want to name 3 other points on the circle. I could try to do something diagonal here, but we don't actually know how to do that yet, and the math is a little complicated. So a lot of times the easiest thing to do, right, is just kind of doing the easier thing is the best way to answer the question. So if I, for example, go in the right direction, so instead of going left from the center, if I go right from the center and count 5 units, I'd be adding another 5 units to my x coordinate. So this would be at 8, 2. It's at the same horizontal level, so the y coordinate is going to be the same. Or I could go vertical up and down. This is the other easy direction to go. Again, I would go 5 units up, and then I would go 5 units down. Well, either way, what I'm going to be doing is adding or subtracting from the y coordinate. The y coordinate is going to be changing. So if I added 5 units, this point here would be at 3, 7. And if I subtracted 5 units, this point would be at 3, negative. Again, this is just confirming what we know about a circle and its definition. Let's look at the bottom here and start to do some identifying. One thing I want to mention is when we name a circle, we name a circle by its center point. And so in this diagram to the right that we're going to use as we identify all of our vocabulary, our circle is named circle O because it is its center point. So this is circle O. I tend to write out the word circle. Some books put a circle with a dot in the center and then whatever the center point is. And sometimes in that case, I might use a cursive O, although usually we use uppercase printed letters because we're talking about points. So in my case here, the first thing I'm asking for is a radius. And again, a radius connects the center to a point on the circle. So I have radius AO, radius OE, and radius OB. I only asked you for one, but I gave you 3. Again, now there is also a radius, for example, from O to T, but we only want to name what we see in the picture, and that's something we've been practicing all unit. Let's toggle back to our vocabulary. A couple other things when we talk about circles. So chords. Chords are segments whose endpoints lie on the circle. So a radius, one of the endpoints is on the circle, but the other one isn't. A chord, both endpoints are on the circle. So this is chord AB, and this is chord DC. AB, DC. And if we have a chord that goes through the center of the circle, that is called the diameter. So if I go from one point through the center to the other. So this is diameter AB. Couple things about diameters. First of all, they are the longest chord. And what is their relationship with the radius? So if we look here, a radius, right, goes from the center to one point on the circle. And then if we do the opposite direction, we would notice that the diameter is twice as long as the radius. Going back to our notes, do we have any chords here? Yes, yes we do, couple. First of all, DC, segment DC is a chord. And our other chord is segment OAB, excuse me, but this is also a diameter. Okay, I'm going to stop this video because the other types of vocabulary that we're going to work on have to do with things that are on the circle itself, not necessarily these segments. And then you can watch video 2.